Check, check.
The future waits for no one, so we refuse to wait for it. We're not just pilots and engineers, we are pioneers. Today, battles are waged in nanoseconds, and planes are piloted from the other side of the world. We turn night into day and fly missions in space. The future's not coming, it's already here. This is the future. Join us and be the future.
Force Base near Las Vegas, Nevada.
And we've been checking out the MQ-9 Reaper all day, this remotely piloted aircraft.
The best part was we came into the simulator training facility and got a chance to fly them ourselves.
We turned off autopilot a little bit and had them hand fly it.
Without any prior experiences, I thought they did pretty well.
Hello and welcome to the 2020 DRL SIM Tryouts Finals presented by the United States Air Force and of course Allianz. I'm your host Tony Niddle, and tonight we crown our winner who will become the DRL SIM Pilot of the 2020 DRL Allianz World Championship season. It's been a long and grueling 6 weeks leading up to this one final event. We started with thousands, and after 12 tournaments, we're down to our final 12 players, where they'll battle it out, leaving only one who will be called the 2020 DRL SIM Champion. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. This is a fantastic, incredible event that we've got going on, and we're excited to find out who's going to become that next winner. Oh, guys, lots at stake here today. These guys are going head to head. We've got two groups of 6 in the semifinals. The top 3 from each one of those groups will move on to the finals, giving us our top 6 of the evening. And of course, only one of those guys will be crowned the overall winner and become the next pilot in the DRL season. It's going to be awesome, guys. We've got a lot going on today. Travis Daly, where are you, my man? You there with us?
Tony, my man.
Hey. I like how we have this little image up there. Let's get rid of that. Travis, how are you, man? Travis is our race manager and our race official. How the hell are you, man?
I'm good. Last year, I was live commentating with you in Vegas, and now I'm just a picture, sitting up here.
And a lovely picture at that up there, by the way, I just want to say.
I somehow got way uglier since last year. That's what's going on.
Come on now. I'm just glad you're running everything behind the scenes with the race, and I don't have to deal with that. So I'm happy about that. At least we got that going for me, all right?
All right.
How are you today? What, we got a lot going on today. We got 12 amazing guys that have just fought their way up to get to this one thing. It's been weeks that these guys have been grinding it out. Who do you think is going to take this overall win here?
I'm staying out of that. I'm the race manager here, and I gotta say, you and I work really, intimately, I would say, with the DRL Sim. We're a part of an amazing community. We got a ton of people, Discord, Facebook, Instagram, whatnot, and part of the greater DRL family. And I got to say, I know all these guys really well. I've watched. I even competed with some of them 2 years ago in the tryouts, and then the photo that you got of me there—that's my tryouts from when I competed. And I know how hard these guys worked, and I watch what they do in the sim and outside too. Ton of respect for them. They've all absolutely proven that they deserve to be here tonight. I really have no idea. These guys all deserve to be here. It's going to be a crazy race. Yeah. And I'm nervous as a race manager. I don't know.
Well, you got every right to be nonetheless, but I'm really glad you didn't throw out that prediction there. And I like that you're staying, within the lanes of your role here and not giving us any insight as to who might get it according to your opinion. So I appreciate that, Trav. Thanks so much. Travis Daly, ladies and gentlemen, our race manager and, of course, our race official for the evening, the man behind the scene, and, of course, that voice that we hear. That's him right there, ladies and gentlemen.
That's me. Good luck, guys.
Thanks, Travis. Good luck to everybody. That is for sure. Guys, new thing for you all. We've got this crazy thing going on, and it's called FanDuel. Check it out, guys. Download the FanDuel app and draft your favorite players. You guys can make picks based on their finishing positions, the groups they're in, the crashes that they have. It's all there for you guys. Keep in mind that after 9-10 p.m. in just a few more minutes, your picks will be locked. So get on that download right away. Download that app. Click on that DRL section, get in there and set your roster as to who you think is going to be the top 3 tonight. Guys, it'll be locked after 9-10. Be sure to follow along to see how your lineup is doing. And keep in mind, the total prize pool is $3,000. It'll be split amongst the top winners. So keep that in mind. There is some money at stake for you guys. So be sure to check out that FanDuel app. It's gonna be epic, guys. I'm just saying. And really quick, guys, there's this hashtag that's right there above me. You guys see that hashtag DRL Sim Live? Well, you guys can tweet at us, tweet at Drone Race League on Twitter, and use that hashtag. If you guys have any questions for us or our guest of honor tonight, anybody here at DRL, make sure you guys are tweeting those questions to us so we can get them checked out and answered for you guys as well. Now, we've got a very special guest for you guys this evening. It's going to be co-hosting with me alongside during this event, and that's Jett. He's our DRL OG World Champion. He took home the first ever World Championship trophy back in 2016, beating out Wild Willie, Johnny FPV, and so many more. Then in 2017, he went back-to-back, taking the throne again with a last-minute pass on his training partner, Gab 707. In 2018, Jett was in the top 6. In 2019, he finished 8th overall. Jett's signature is, pulling out the come-from-behind win in the clutch, and he's been a regular with us during the year's tryouts as well. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen.
Very much a mood-based pilot.
Jett takes heat number 1.
Taking the championship 2 years in a row was incredible. I just want to beat everyone. So really, I know I'm a good enough pilot to beat all these guys. It just has to just click.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jett!
What's up, everybody?
Hey, man.
Oh,
Look,
hey, what's up, Tony?
They're even clapping for you over there, man. That's awesome. You got some nice applause.
That too, man. I'm so excited to be here.
Mr. Jordan Temkin, ladies and gentlemen, in the house. Thank you so much for joining us, Jett. It's awesome to have you here with us, especially a 2-time DRL champ, which is just amazing. If anybody knows racing, there's not a lot of other people out there know that as best as you do. I mean, you've been around it for so long. You've been doing it. You've been killing it. The 2-time champ from the past, and now you're here with us. So thank you so much for joining us, my man.
Thanks, man. I'm so excited. I actually have sweaty hands. I got sweaty feet over here, just kind of nervous for these top 12 guys.
It's like been all morning, all evening. I've just been kind of sitting around waiting and waiting and waiting. It's like when you have that flight to the airport at night and you got nothing to do, but you're so excited.
And you're not even the one racing.
Like. I know, I'm not even racing. We're just here hanging out watching, and I'm excited.
Right? I mean, we're just watching the show unfold and kind of speaking about it as we go, and yet we're nervous for these guys. And you know what? That brings me to my next point, which is you've been in this situation where you're on the cusp, you know, you don't know if you're going to make it. You don't know if it's going to be you or not. Talk to me about that feeling, because these guys, they're going through that right now, and we'll of course get to those players for you guys in just a moment. But I just want you to talk to us about how that feeling, how you can relate to that feeling, and what do you do about that? I mean, how do you handle that?
Yeah, like high stakes, that nervousness. You know, for some people it's nervousness, for some people it's excitement, anxiety, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
All of these guys have worked really, really hard to be here, right? We've been watching them racing this whole time.
Yeah.
And it's really just this culmination of like satisfaction, man. Like when they're done with this race, one guy is going to be incredibly satisfied,
right?
But the rest of them, like, it's still this sigh of relief of like we did, like, of achieving that goal, right? They still made it all the way to the finals. Like that's a pretty big step. They should be happy that they're here. I'm sure they all are, and that just adds even more pressure, right? Because they want to win.
Well, yeah, I mean, one thing to think about is there's thousands of people that have entered into this. So just the fact that they have made it to the top 12 alone is just in itself a huge achievement. Yeah, it is not an easy thing to do. Now, you aren't a sim pilot per se, but you have had your run at the tracks. You know what these guys are going through, and you have an extensive racing background. So obviously, you know how they feel, and you know what it can take. Now, how do you get past that? What do these guys have to do right now before this event, you know, really kicks off and they're in that hot seat?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's about like reaching this flow state, right? It's about finding that Zen moment where you're 150% focused on the task at hand. You have no distractions. You're not even thinking thoughts. Like it's just, it has to happen cleanly, smoothly, without falter. And I mean, the amount of time these guys are putting in, like I logged in to Steam and played the track when you guys released it. What was it, Tuesday? Mm-hmm. And they were all in there. The first 30 seconds you released it, just training, practicing, trying to get on top of that leaderboard. The dedication is absolutely there. I will bet you some good money. A lot of these guys did not sleep the past 2 days.
I believe that.
Incredible hours. And we're going to really get to see that dedication come out in the racing. Like we'll see which guys put in the time on the track and which guys didn't, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to us about, now this is our bracket that we have right here, guys. You can see who our players are in the tournament that's going on tonight. We got our FanDuel up. Talk to me about the traits of what it takes to be that winner. You know, what does it take on a personal side, on your everyday, you know, whatever you're doing on a daily basis? Tell me about that.
I mean, it's dedication, number one. I mean, we saw that last year. Vanover has this incredible just dedication to training and practicing and putting in absurd hours flying, and that really paid off for him in the 2019 Allianz season. And we're seeing that again here. If we look at the amount of time some of these guys have spent in the sim, it's more than a regular work week. And so for them, that's like step number one, is that there's obviously a bit of talent involved. Some people pick it up quick, some people don't. But you can always offset that with more practice, more training, more dedication.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a look, guys, at our players this evening and who's going to be going head to head. It's going to be a crazy epic night. Check it out. Amari. He is age 25 from Waukee, Iowa. This guy is insane. Matter of fact, he likes to use a Rubik's Cube between heats to keep his fingers moving and warmed up. You'll see a little bit more of that later on this evening. He was our number one finalist in our 12 tournament series leading up to tonight. Next up is Chief, Mr. Alex Campbell from Woodbury, Tennessee, age of 24. And his whole reason to get in this was to go after Amari. He said that what made him want to try out, it was the fact that Amari, his good buddy, was grinding so much in the sim, he wanted to try and beat him. Finalist number 3, that's going to be Palos FPV, age 17, coming at us from Poland. And he's wanted to be a DRL pilot ever since he started drone racing. It's been his dream to take it to the next step. That's Palos FPV. Next up, AJ FPV, 20-year-old coming out from Puerto Rico. Matter of fact, he's got well over 100 hours in the sim, but he's actually been flying freestyle drones for about the last 4 years. Finalist number 5, that's going to be Orange Stuff, Joshua Becca, age 30, from Chico, California. Matter of fact, we might want to call him Reverend Orange Stuff because he's actually an ordained minister, and he's actually married a couple, 2 different couples, actually, which is pretty insane. So congrats to him on making it all this way. Next up, Manny himself, age 32, from Miami, Florida. Fun fact about this guy, he used to be the lead singer in a rock band and actually has a recorded album. I know you guys are going to be Google searching that one. Manny himself. Finalist number 7, that goes down to Star, coming out of Germany, age 23. He's got well over 300 hours recorded in the sim. In the last 5 months, he's been just killing the practice, and he's working on his master's degree in engineering, currently in school. Next up, it's going to be Dolma FPV, the 17-year-old out of Porter Ranch, California. Matter of fact, his favorite food is dolma, which I didn't even realize that was a food. That was a Mediterranean dish, also known as stuffed grape leaves. That's Dolma FPV. Then there's Halo Walker, the 17-year-old German. He's grinding it like crazy. He's actually a tutor on the side, and he even delivers newspaper. He's still a high school student, again at the age of 17. That's Halo Walker, coming out from Germany. Adrone, the next player, age 30, from Memphis, Tennessee. Used to teach gymnastics and can actually do a double somersault on a trampoline. That's pretty impressive because I don't even touch those things. Keep me away from all the trampolines. Then there's Sky, the 26-year-old out of Inglewood, Colorado, who actually works as a software engineer, who's working on his own FPV simulator at the moment. And last but certainly not least, that goes to Rab FPV, the 22-year-old from Roanoke, Virginia. It's been his dream of his to be a DRL pilot ever since he started flying. And after seeing DRL on TV, he was hyped, but he felt like now he is ready. It's going to be a crazy, crazy epic night. I can't wait for all of the shenanigans to go down. These guys are going to be battling it out like crazy. But Jett, I think we should take these guys into the course and give them a little view on what it is these players are going up against. Now, you've had a chance to fly the course.
Yeah, I did. I fired up the course and started flying it the second you guys dropped it, actually, on Tuesday.
Oh, nice.
Mostly, I mean, because I'm excited, man. I'm excited for this event, so I wanted to have as much insight as I could on the track.
Yeah.
Also, FP Vegan, you know, he's been putting in a lot of work on these tracks, and it shows because that track's really, really fun.
FP Vegan, he's actually our track designer who's done all the different tracks as well, which has been pretty awesome, and he's done an amazing job for sure. But I think, you know what, let's take these guys through the track and give them a little run through on what it's like that these players will be going up against this evening. That's an insane track that they've got to go up against tonight. Lots of twists and turns to put these people into the ground and cause a lot of mayhem. But you know what? These guys are the best of the best. Jett, they've been training hard. They put in tons and tons of hours. I know these guys didn't sleep the last couple nights just going through the motions of this whole entire thing. So you know what? I think they got it down. It's going to be some epic racing, a very, very tight and close call. I can't wait.
You know what's crazy is how quickly they pick up the track.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, it was within 5 minutes, they were already just competing for these times that didn't even make sense in my brain, man. Like, the way these guys are just so in tune with the simulator, they really, really, really know that Racer 4 very, very well.
Absolutely. It's pretty incredible how well they can do in the sim with these things.
And I mean, so let's talk about the track really quick. It's not all that difficult. It's not like an obstacle course, right? There's pretty straightforward. You got to get through the gates. There's nothing that's specifically in your way to block you. But there's so many different lines to take in some of those inverted sections.
Right.
There's what, 2 or 3 sections that I can think of where you have to invert and hit an apex of a turn while you're twisting upside down, and it's this mind-boggling maneuver.
Right.
I'm really interested to see the differences in lines or the similarities in lines that some of these guys take, and who's able to keep it consistently throughout the races. For me, there's this camel hump section at the very end,
right,
where you kind of have to jump over a wall and then do spin a 180 reverse moment, and it's really hard.
Yeah,
it was really hard, at least for me, to get it consistently every time. I felt like I either lost or gained 2 seconds just in that 2-gate area.
Well, you know, so one gate can make or break the difference for these guys easily. I mean, it comes down to just every little minute movement on the sticks, and that could make or break or change things for them. Just a quick reminder, guys, our rules for the evening. These guys will be flying 6 up in each group. Just to give you a little look-see here, we've got our Group 1 and Group 2 sections here. You can see all 6 players there listed. Amari, AJ, Sky, Orange Stuff, A-Drone, and Rab will be in semifinal group number 1, and then we'll get semifinal group number 2 done a little bit later after that. Group 1, Palace Chief, Manny, Halo Walker, Dolma, and Star. Now 6 will go up against each other in the semifinals. The top 3 from each group will move on to the finals. The bottom 3, well, they are done for this season. Also, guys, just another reminder, you guys are more than welcome to use that hashtag. It's actually over there. It's over there above you, Jett. Hashtag DRL SIM Live. Yep. Oh, there it is. You guys can send us a tweet at Drone Race League using that hashtag DRL SIM Live. Don't forget also to check out FanDuel. All kinds of crazy things going on over there on the FanDuel app. Make sure you're keeping track of your players that you have set up in your lineup. Guys,
yeah,
we also have something really cool going on.
A little FanDuel there?
What's that?
Did you do a FanDuel lineup?
I did set one up. I did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a little more difficult than I expected because you have to kind of figure out based on how much money you have for each person to kind of choose. And the top 3 the 3 that I wanted to choose I couldn't do because I didn't have, you don't get that much money, so you got to really pick it accordingly. It's not that easy of a choice if you know these guys, and especially how close they do fly. I want to keep moving just along here just a moment. Don't forget, guys, something new we have going on, which is the DRL SIM Saturdays. Matter of fact, I'll just let you guys check it out because that's the best way to kind of go about it. There it is, DRL SIM Saturdays. If you guys want to be featured on the DRL Instagram page, all you have to do is submit your Sim Saturday videos. The best one will be featured each week, so make sure you guys are tuning in and checking out the DRL Instagram page. All right, we got a lot at stake. We got a whole lot at stake, guys. Remember, these guys are competing for a contract to become the next DRL pilot in the season. It's going to be incredible. Let me show you guys those 6 pilots. In group number 1, it'll be Amari in the red drone, AJ FPV flying blue, Sky in the yellow drone, Orange Stuff will be in green, A-Drone in purple, and Rab FPV in the orange drone. This is for semifinal group number 1. Jett, I want to know what your predictions are for Group 1. Based on what you know, I mean, we've seen these guys fly for some time. They're not new to the industry. They've been doing this for a little bit. Who do you think's going to take first, second, and third here?
So my guesses are, so Amari was the first one to win week 1, correct?
Okay.
Yes, to me, that tells me that he's one of the top contenders. He went up against all these other top 12 guys and made it in.
Yeah.
So he's going to be my number 1 seed. After that, I want to say Orange Stuff. I see him on the leaderboards all the time.
He is.
He's been in multiple of these tournaments. He was in the year before. He did pretty well, if I remember correctly. Didn't quite get the... So he's another one to keep your eye on. Amari, Orange Stuff. I mean, they're all fast, man. These are decisions.
They're all great, right? But
they're hard to make. Rab, he's one that I don't think he ever practices, but somehow just kills it.
He didn't put a lot of practice in, then he showed up in tournament 11, ended up getting in the top 12, and then in tournament 12 just ended up taking him. It's just incredible how good that guy is, and especially just out of nowhere. So is that the 3 you're going with? I'm gonna go.
Then you have Sky. He's put in 700 hours or something in his DRL Sim.
He's got an insane amount. Yeah, absolutely.
And 150 in the past couple months during these tournaments. He's one of those guys I was talking about. That's just full on dedication, putting in the hours. Dude, and then all of them. I'm just going to start stuttering over my words because I don't even know who to pick, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, instead of stuttering, let's get into group number 1 semifinals and see if we're ready to kick off heat number 1 of our semifinal group. Just waiting for our drones to get ready on the podiums and, of course, our race official to get everything in line. It's going to be a crazy, crazy epic run here.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I think I'm gonna go with Amari while we wait on them to start the race. I'm going to go with Amari. God, this is really hard. Amari, Orange Stuff, and A-Drone. Let's go that route, okay? I'm going to write it down. Okay. Let's see how we do. Write yours down as well.
Yeah. Man, it's so...
Amari,
well, and the thing is, it's a race, right? So it's different than leaderboard smashing. You can't just go off of the fastest guys because during the racing, you have to be able to hold that composure together. You can't just go back to back to back races.
Right.
Trying to hit that fastest perfect line.
And the key to this is threading those gates together. Looking at one turn, going to the next. It's really all about how you exit one obstacle and enter the next. You can't just think about each obstacle individually. You got to string them all together. I mean, this as well as anybody. It's not about one obstacle at a time per se. It's a matter of being able to string those obstacles together, coming out of one area, one gate, and being ready to line up for the next one. So you've got to know those moves ahead of time. You can't just sit on them and expect that you're just going to fall right into place. If you don't have that line down packed before you start, there's going to be an issue, and it's really going to throw you off.
Right. And the wild part about this course specifically is some of those lines and apexes are happening while you're inverted or in these crazy sort of maneuvers. So it's really difficult to get that line work down in 3 dimensions. And in addition, now you're throwing in apexing lines while inverted, while at a 45-degree angle.
Right.
It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a really tough race for these guys.
Question for you, Jett, while we wait for the race to start. From Tim, he's asking, what would be the best advice you could give these guys racing tonight?
Oh, best advice?
Yeah, best advice.
It's really don't get a previous heat, or don't let a previous heat get to you. So let's say you made a mistake, you crashed, it's heat number 2. Don't let that crash or that mistake get in the way of your next heats. It's really easy to just get down on yourself, be like, oh man, they beat me so easily in the first 2 heats, I have no chance.
Right.
And you can't let that kind of just negativity get into your brain because it will poison your flying.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing to think about is that whatever just happened in that previous heat, it doesn't matter anymore. What happened? Right. What matters is what's happening next, what's happening right now, or what's going to happen next. Right? If you botched heat 1 or heat 2 or whatever, and you're now in the following heat, you got to forget about what happened before that and just move on and think about what you need to focus on in that line for the next race.
Right.
Hey, do you know what's happening right now, boys?
Talk to me about what's happening right now.
What's that?
Heat number 1.
Hey!
Course
Here we
is
go.
clear.
Oh, man, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, man, I'm sweating.
Are you? Thank you so much for that update, Travis. Heat number 1 is underway. We got drones loading in on Podium's Rab FPV and that orange drone as he gets set up. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are off for heat number 1. Out the gates, all 6 still together on that drop as they swing down below through this little corridor. I'm going to call this the canal that they have to dive through. Meanwhile, it's Amari in the red drone up front to the early lead. A drone in purple right there with them, all still swinging out of that corridor and on the huge wall ride. That drop down, Amari still in the lead. Orange stuff in green, he's right behind. AJ FPV in the blue drone in the mix as well, but it's Sky who tries to push for third. Sky and AJ back and forth, the yellow and blue drone, as they're neck and neck diving through that gate. Amari fighting with orange stuff up front out of the power loop. Amari in the lead. Orange stuff just behind. There's Amari's view as he goes through the turn. In the corridor through the cube. The huge inverted Embleman as he comes out that ramp. And here's another Embleman, but a tighter one this time. Amari still in the lead. Up top, the final turn to the finish. And Amari looking solid. It's orange stuff just behind him. AJ FPV in third. In that order, a 103.58 for Amari, Jett.
Dude, Amari had a pretty hefty lead in that one.
He did. He had a solid lead.
I mean,
he wasn't letting go of that at all. He didn't let anyone get close to him.
No, because during practice, when they were leaderboard smashing and stuff, a lot of these guys were in multiplayer lobbies racing against each other, and they were having races where it's like 0.05 seconds away from each other, and that's like a whole half-second gap for Amari in the lead, man.
Well, he starts off with a great run, a 103.58, a solid time, not as fast as his qualifying times. Maybe, Travis, you can give us those qualifying times from these guys when you get a moment. But yeah, 10 points. Oh, you got him already?
Sure. Amari got a 102.48. He was the number 1 qualifier.
Okay, 102.48. 102.48. I got to write that down because I don't want to forget that one. 10 points on the board for Amari, 7 for Orange Stuff. Second place gets 7, third gets 5, fourth for 3 points, fifth gets 1 point, and sixth place gets 0. 4 more heats to go as we set up for heat number 2. You think Amari's going to continue doing this, Jett?
This is where like psychological things come into play, right? Like he's got this cushion now, he's feeling good. He can now use that momentum to his advantage to just keep on rolling, keep on trucking, get a bunch of wins in there. So he's locked in, doesn't have to stress out. Then he can go into like training practice mode. I think that's really important.
That's a really good point there. All 6 off the blocks and through gate number 1, but it looks like Sky might have taken that whole shot from gate number 1. Meanwhile, Amari on the dive down, Sky just behind him as they come out of the canal on the scream up. Making that hard right turn to drop back down. Amari still in the lead. Sky just behind. Tries to creep up on him through the corridor. Not able to do it. AJ in blue now in the mix. Tries to get up there. A-Drone takes him out. A-Drone in purple pushes ahead. Now A-Drone, orange stuff, fighting neck and neck for third place. Amari still in the lead. Look at Sky trying to push on the dive down. Sky goes for it, unable to make the pass. Amari holds on. Amari is
looking good out there, man.
He's not making any mistakes at this moment.
No.
In that far sweeping right turn, Sky in yellow just behind him. But the battle for third place is fierce right now between Orange Stuff and AJ. AJ in the blue drone, Orange Stuff in green. These guys in the Embleman. Sky up there in second place, falls back to third. Amari in the lead, makes the run to the finish. He'll take first place, but the battle for second was fierce. I couldn't even tell. It was too close. AJ ends up getting second place. Sky was right there. He had that orange stuff in the mix as well, but he wasn't able to pull it out. Sky ends up getting third for the 5-pointers with a 103.93 from heat number 2.
Look at that time, though, man.
That was pretty awesome.
I barely squeaked it through into third place right there.
That's I want to take a look real quick. Let me see if I can pull up just that finishing shot of these guys going through the finish gate, because that was just epically close. Let me just get this set up.
Yeah, Sky had the tiniest. I was actually on his FPV feed when that happened, and he had the tiniest little bobble going into that last IMO min that cost him a whole spot.
Well, let's take a look at the slow-mo as they go across that finish line. And you can see right here in the front, that blue drone, that's AJ. And just behind him, I'm going to go ever so slightly slower here, is is Sky in yellow, just barely ahead of Orange Stuff as he creeps into that finish. That was quite a close race and an epic finish for these guys. However, looking at the boards, you've got 20 points on the board for Amari. AJ, he's sitting with 12 and 10 for Orange Stuff. Reminder for you guys out there, the top 3 move on to the finals. The bottom 3 get eliminated. So we've still got 3 heats for these guys to make it up and change the boards about, which anything can change with 3 heats left to go, right, Jett?
Right. Like a big thing right now for Sky, Rab, and A-Drone is to not get discouraged. You know, we still have 3 heats. If those guys win 3 in a row, that's 30 points, right? Then you're on the top.
Exactly.
You just have to forget about what happened, move on, and just race this race like it's a brand new one. Amari's in a really good spot. He's got some cushion. AJ, Orange Stuff, they can't get complacent.
No.
Right? Because when you're like, oh, I'm second and third, we're all good. And then it goes downhill real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, things to remember for these guys is don't get complacent and don't worry about what happened in the past, because all it matters is what's going on next. This is Sky's view as he makes these first turns, and on the dive down, you can see Amari and the red drone scream up ahead of him. Let's take a look at that outside view as they drop through the canal. Amari up front, Orange Stuff just behind in the green drone, but it's Sky who's creeping up into second place and makes the pass to hold on to it. In and out of the next cube, Amari and Sky and Orange Stuff. You're 1, 2, 3 on the wall ride. The dive back down. Now, these guys are close behind him for second, but Amari somehow finds a way to get ahead every single time, Jett, and he does not let these guys get close to him. How is he doing this?
I don't know. That's a smart move, though, is just like launch hard, get in the front so you don't have these guys right in your face, you know, distracting you, throwing you off your focus. He's playing it smart, which is he knows he has the faster lines in the first part of the track, and he's using that to his absolute advantage.
Well, meanwhile, Amari in front, but it's Orange Stuff who's found second place and has held on to it. Sky's fallen back. Orange Stuff in the lead, but it's A-Drone fighting with Sky for third. It was too close to call. We know Amari was in there for first, and it was Orange Stuff for second, but it was Sky who got third place. Another 5-pointer on the board, a 103.91 for him. However, look at Amari's time, a 102.92, Jett.
Yeah, I mean, it's consistently getting faster and faster. That means he's getting comfortable. He's feeling good. He's found that flow state, and he's going, man. That's a really 102 in competition.
Well, remember his fastest time in qualifier was a 102.48. He's pretty close there with a 102.92 with 2 heats left to go. I mean, anything can change here. 30 points on the board for Amari, 17 and 15 for Orange and AJ. But look at Sky. He's not out of it. He's still in the mix. He's only 2 points shy of third place right now. Things could still happen. And you know what? With 2 heats to go, A-Drone and Rab can still make something happen as well.
Yeah, man. If they get a first place, that bumps them into that 3-4 spot kind of bubble. And they're still in it. But right now, I think Orange Stuff, AJ, and Sky, they need to get some points on the board, separate themselves from everybody else. Amari's kind of locked in at the top there. I'd say stop worrying about Amari and start worrying about getting those 7-point second places. So that you can really just get some points on the board.
Yeah, good call. As we wait for heat number 4, I got a question for you from Brennan Brown over to you, Jett. Did you race this track, and what was your best time? Now, we know you did race this time. Do you remember what your best time was on the track?
It was a 106 or something, I think. I spent a couple hours playing on it with Nub.
Okay.
So we were kind of just duking it out, having some fun.
But you don't have hundreds and hundreds of hours
from these guys, man, or 2 seconds back.
Oh yeah, I mean these guys are crazy. You don't, and like I was just saying, you don't have hundreds of hours,
right?
You know, in the sim, you do have obviously have a lot of hours in real life, and it does relate. But it's very different when you're as a pilot. There are things that throw off your game. The chair you're sitting in can throw you off. The environment around you can throw you off. You know, things that you're used to that can just, you know, those slight little things, ever so slight, makes those adjustments, and it could definitely cause some trouble. Meanwhile, off the blocks and through gate number 1, it was Rab and the Orange Drone who got the whole shot. and the early lead, but then drops back down. It's Amari now fighting for first place, right next to A drone and the purple drone. Meanwhile, all 6 up in the air on the dive down and into the next corridor. Amari starting to pull away, but a tight pack behind. Look at how tight that pack is, Jett, behind Amari.
Man.
He's just not letting anyone get close to him.
No, I mean, look, he's already got a good half-second lead on him.
He's killing it right now.
It's Amari and then everybody else.
Uh-oh, A drone in the purple now is falling back, trying to get back in the mix. It's Sky in yellow who's moved into second. Now Orange Stuff takes it over. Orange Stuff now gets passed by Sky. These two are neck and neck, back and forth. The battle for second is incredible. AJ in the mix as well. A 3-way battle as they go inverted through the next cube on the ramp up. Sky and Orange Stuff, you're 2 and 3. They're neck and neck. Amari in the lead on the final turn. Who will take second? It looks to be Orange Stuff, and then Sky just behind. Did AJ beat him? AJ beat him out at the last second there on Heat 4.
A
103.85 from AJ squeaks by and kicks Sky down. He had a 104.02. That was pretty insane. That was an epic run right there.
But Sky can't get discouraged, right? Because if he gets a win, then he bumps one of them out.
Exactly. Going into heat number 5, Amari's got 40 on the board. What do we know? We know Amari's clinched his spot. He's not going anywhere. He is absolutely moving on to the finals. He should be proud of that. Orange Stuff with 24 points, AJ with 20 points. It's not over for these guys yet. However, it's not over for Sky. We know Sky has a chance, just like you just said, Jett. Anything can happen here in this final heat. But before we go to heat number 5, talk to me about the differences between heats 1 through 4 and now sitting on the cusp going into heat number 5.
Yeah, I mean, this is where the pressure really hits, right? Amari's now just chilling. Orange Stuff, AJ, and Sky have the most pressure on him right now because A-Drone and Rab, good racing, but unfortunately you guys are done at this point.
Yeah,
but
it looks like there's no way they can catch up this time.
Yeah, but the second, third, and fourth, this is where the pressure really hits because if they do not perform on this last race, they're out.
Yeah. Well, Sky said in his pre-race interview, you know what made him want to try out for this? He wants that DRL contract. It could still happen for him. We'll see what happens as we go into heat number 5. Question for you, Jett, while we wait for the heat to start. Hi, from Tommy J. How do you think the winner will go transitioning from DRL Sim to the real thing?
It normally goes pretty well. I mean, if history says anything, we had, I believe it was Jaws in the very beginning.
Yeah.
He won the very first sim tryouts. He actually did pretty well in the season.
I'm gonna have to cut you off, though.
We lost Amari there?
Oh, we did. Okay, looks like we'll be, I assume, doing a reset. Is that correct, Trav?
That's correct.
All right.
Well, lucky for whoever I was just watching because he crashed.
Exactly. So going back to that, talking about the transition between the DRL Sim, going from becoming that winner in the DRL Sim to then becoming a pilot in the actual DRL Allianz World Championship series. I mean, it's just incredible to be in that league.
Yeah, and I mean, look at Flexi. Flexi came in, he won the 2019 sim tryouts, and then he came in, I think he was top 6 in 6 of the 7 races.
Yeah, the guy's incredible as well.
Season?
Yeah,
like it either says something about the amount of dedication put into both the training in the simulator and in real life. It says something about adaptability, right? You have to be able to adapt quickly to any external forces. So if you're used to flying in a sim, you have to be quick to adapt to flying in real life.
I think one of the things that to really think about is the fact that you're going to be in that limelight. You're going to have cameras on you. You're going to have producers. You're going to have that. There not only is there a race going on, but there is also filming going on to put this on television for everybody. So that's something that not everyone is used to dealing with, and that could really rattle somebody, or they can just thrive on it. There are definitely people out there that love dealing with that pressure, and they thrive on it, and it makes them better.
Right, and that's like you can see Flexi's one of those guys who loved just being in the moment, showing his excitement.
Yeah.
Where it can, and especially for this race because this year the sim tryouts is all online, right? So everyone's in the comfort of their own home,
right?
Relaxing where they're used to playing. They're not on a stage. So it's going to be pretty jarring for some of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Off the blocks and through the first gate, it was Sky who got the early lead, but can he hold on to it as Amari tries to make the pass in the red drone, the dive down, and into the canal. Amari sitting in first so far. Behind him in second, well, that's an array of colors as they drop into the next cube. Sky in yellow now finds second place. A-Drone in the mix as well. Orange Stuff just behind A-Drone on the wall right, and the dive back down. A-Drone falls behind Orange Stuff as he makes that pass in the green drone. Amari in red in first, Sky in yellow in second. Orange Stuff just barely in third currently. A-Drone trying to take the inside pass on the dive, unable to do so. Orange Stuff keeps him at bay. In and out of the power loop. Some mistakes were made from AJ in blue as he went down back there. Meanwhile, Amari takes an even tighter turn and gains some extra ground, pulling ahead of the pack even more. Sky's view inside the cube as he chases the red trail. Orange Stuff and A-Drone fighting for third place. Has not changed. The final runs to the finish. Then the final turn. Amari gets it. Second place was close. Oh. Orange Stuff and Sky gets third.
Dude, look at the time. Look at that time.
Oh my gosh. Sky barely squeaks in.
Sky pulling it clutch, man. Oh.
That was incredible. A 103.66 from Sky. Versus
Sky
the 103.73 from A-Drone.
Big thank you.
Oh my
Sky
gosh.
owes AJ a huge thank you. Because if AJ did not come last place, Sky would not be in it right now.
No kidding. That is incredible. He only beat him by 1 point. One point, ladies and gentlemen. That's incredible. So Amari, Orange Stuff, and Sky will be moving on to the finals. Unfortunately for AJ, A-Drone, and Rab, their time here is done. Of course, we want to thank these guys for joining us and putting in all their hard work and effort. They did an amazing job over the last 6 weeks, grinding and grinding and grinding in this sim to improve their skills and get that muscle memory down. That's incredible, though.
Good job, guys.
Hats off to those guys for their incredible dedication to the DRL sim and, of course, to DRL. It's incredible. 50 points on the board, however, for Amari with first place. A solid win for him in semifinal group number 1. Orange Stuff in second place. He's got 31, and it's 21 points on the board for Sky, just barely beating out AJ by 1 point.
Barely.
Man, that's incredible. That's
about as barely as it gets.
That's incredible. Now, as we go into the finals later on, right now we're going to transition into semifinal group number 2, but all the points will reset for these guys. The ones that are moving on, Amari, Orange Stuff, and Sky, when they go into the finals, they will have a clean slate. It'll all be about that battle that's going on in the finals. AJ, A-Drone, and Rab, unfortunately, are done for the evening. So we'll be transitioning over to semifinal group number 2. But I would like to get our winner, our first place winner, which is Amari. At least we can get him on voice. Do we have him available to us, Travis? We'll see if we can get him over here as we wait. Question for you.
He's walking down right now.
Oh, he is. Okay, great. Get him over in that booth.
Amari is here.
Amari, are you there? Can you hear me? Hey! Congratulations for taking the win in semifinal group number 1. You've got to be extremely excited. Talk to me.
Oh, I'm ecstatic right now. Praise the Lord. Absolutely fantastic. Feeling so good right now.
Well, you did an amazing job out there fighting every single heat. You were jumping in the front every single heat and not letting go of that one single bit.
That's what I've been practicing for, man.
Well, you did a great job. Jett.
Dude, it looked so good. It looked so good.
Thank you.
How did you get out that early lead and hold on and not let go of it? What was your secret? Do you want to give that away?
Just don't make mistakes.
All right. Well, words of wisdom from the winner. Don't make mistakes, right?
Yep. Go fast or get past, man.
I like that. Go fast or get past. Well, Amari, congratulations for making it to the finals. We'll see you again a little bit later. Great job in semifinal group number 1.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks again.
You guys, don't forget, we still have the hashtag DRL SIM Live. You guys are more than welcome to send us some tweets at Drone Race League if you guys have any questions. Jett, I've got a question for you coming from Jacob Andrews. Jett, what was your favorite track to fly in the DRL season? Or in season. So, what was your all-time favorite?
Oh, all-time favorite.
All-time.
Oh, God. All-time is still, I think I've said Biosphere.
Okay.
Before. That's still one of my all-times, just because of like the incredibly unique location.
Right? That was a fun spot to fly. For
Right.
those that don't
and getting
know,
to go like in the building,
Yeah.
through a whole different ecosystem and bios, and then popping out and flying around the building, and like just that whole change in scenery for every like 100 feet was like wild.
yeah,
Definitely one of my top favorites. Adventure Dome also. That whole year was awesome. That was
Yeah.
a cool year. And I mean, Phoenix last year with the crowd and all the fans watching, like that experience in itself was really cool.
Yeah.
Just because we had like this energy that we've never had at a race before.
yeah. Real quick, guys, we're super excited to announce that the United States Air Force has partnered with DRL, which is pretty insane in itself, to bring you guys a new sim map. Matter of fact, let's check that. There we go.
Really?
Our new sim map coming to you guys pretty soon. So make sure you guys are staying tuned on Steam in the DRL Sim for that new map, as we partnered up with the United States Air Force. Keep a lookout for that to be coming soon. Also, make sure you guys check out DRL's Twitter account, where DRL pilots will be demonstrating a 1-minute learn to fly in a mini series that's coming soon. Of course, thanks to the United States Air Force. Make sure you guys follow the Drone Race League on Twitter for all the action. All right, we're going
that's
in.
Cool, man.
We're going in. Go ahead.
We had the chance to go to the Creech Air Force Base.
Yeah.
Nurk and I.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
And we got to experience the whole drone side of the Air Force, and it's pretty cool, man. We got to teach some of the drone pilots there how to fly our drones,
right?
And they got to teach us how to fly theirs, and it was this really awesome, just like mutual respect situation where we are all just like, oh, what you're doing is kind of cool, and what you're doing is cool too, and like it was really fun, and getting those opportunities to like talk to people who I might not talk to in my day-to-day life,
right?
About how awesome drones and drone racing is I mean, that's always a good time.
Yeah, I'm jealous that you guys got to do that, because to go check out the military drones is a whole different ball game. I'm assuming those things are very, very different to fly. They're not even on the same.
Like airplanes.
Yeah,
They're huge.
yeah, exactly. I'm a little jealous. All right, we're getting ready for semifinal group number 2, ladies and gentlemen, and your players are as follows. Palos in the red drone. Chief will be flying in blue. Manny himself rocking the yellow drone. Halo Walker in green. Dolma, he'll be flying purple, and Star will be in the orange drone. Jett, talk to me about your predictions for this group. What are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to get this one? I was, by the way, how were you on your last prediction? I was off by one person.
Yeah, I mean, my prediction was Amari was going to do pretty well.
Yeah.
And he did do pretty well, to say it lightly.
Yeah. Well, looking at group number 2, what do you think?
Well, so Chief would be my number 1 seed in this group, because I believe he won the second race.
Okay. He did, yes.
and I do know he's been putting in like 10+ hour days every day for this.
Yeah. I want to say Palos was the number 2 qualifier. And maybe Trav can confirm that for us, but I want to say he was, but I don't remember what his time was. I know it was a 102 and some change, if I'm not mistaken.
For tonight?
Yeah, so I don't really have any experience with Paolo, Star, or Halo, actually.
Okay, Travis, you said yes, he was the number 2?
He was just behind Amari, and in that ranking round, Amari had just passed him close to the end. Palos was up there number 1 for a while. He had a 102.56. Amari's time again was a 102.48.
Okay. So Palos is the fastest qualifier in this group. As we go into semifinal group number 2, we'll see if he or anyone else can beat his 102.56. Do you think it can happen, Jett?
102.56 is pretty rough in a high pressure situation.
Yeah, it's very different when you're flying by yourself in
right.
a qualifier, a time trial kind of thing, right?
Right, and I mean, and just knowing that the pressure of this is the make it or break it moment, to move on into the finals. Yeah. Just that looming pressure definitely makes you not as fast as when you're just like running the track over and over again.
Yeah.
he's got the red drone, so that means he's top seed right here. So we'll see if he can pull it through, you know?
Yeah, we'll find out. We're going into heat number 1 of semifinal group number 2 in just a moment. Another question for you, Jett, as we wait from Edgy FPV. Can you show us all your DRL racers? Do you have them like nearby? Your racer. Do you have original? You don't have a racer 1. You have a racer 2, racer 3, and 4, right?
I do have a racer 2 and I have a racer 3. There's like, if we turn the camera down,
yeah,
there's a pile of drones right behind me. I tried to clean a little before this live stream, and I ended up just kind of piling everything out of frame.
Just shove it all in the closet, right? That's how it works.
But yeah, I mean, I've got them laying around all over the place, parts, pieces. They're definitely here somewhere. I've got too many drones. That's something I've been meaning to do. Is
now, are you like me, and every once in a while you get a wild hair, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go rock the Racer 2, because every once in a while I just feel like, you know, I want to go fly the Racer 2 and get a little taste of humble pie. You know what I mean? All right, here we go into heat number 1 of semifinal group number 2 as these players make their way down through the canal. Manny himself in the yellow drone on the early lead. Gets past, though. Chief in blue up front. Can he hold it? We'll find out. In and out of the cube. Chief still in the lead in the blue drone. Halo Walker in green. Just a skip of a beat behind him. Palos in red. Fighting for second with Halo. Chief in the lead still. The blue drone. Palos in red. Keep your eye on him. I also want you to keep your eye on Halo Walker. That's the green drone who's just behind Palos currently. Meanwhile, Manny himself in yellow squeaks by, tries to get the pass, comes in second, no third. Palos takes it back for second. Chief still in the lead, pulling a card out of Amari's book, apparently. As he continues to stay up front and not let anybody pass. Out of that huge loop and through the cube on the ramp up.
Oh, no!
Chief has gone down somewhere through that cube on that drop down, and that's it. He's fallen way back. Meanwhile, Palos in the lead. Manny himself just behind in Halo Walker. All hell went crazy. What just happened?
Mistakes were made, man. Mistakes were made. Chief.
He was super comfy up there in the front of the pack. No one was touching him, and all it took was one little minor mistake, and the rest of the pack was able to capitalize on him and get that pass, move ahead. Sometimes that's what it comes down to, Jett, is other people's mistakes. We call them unforced errors. And, well, Chief unfortunately made one there in heat number 1 and allowed the other guys to capitalize on that.
Yeah, I mean, that was that exact section I was talking about, that camel hump with that, whatever we're calling it, the reverse Immelman.
Yeah.
That's
you're talking about through that loop that goes into the cube?
Yeah. I mean, that whole section's just, you have to really coordinate your yaw while you're inverted to flip back. It's this crazy blind maneuver that is almost 100% muscle memory.
Well, and the worst part about it is that when you go through that loop and you're coming out inverted, you're not coming out inverted into open skies. You're coming out inverted inside a corridor of a cube. Like there's not a lot of room in there, so there's no margin for error in there. You've got to flip it back over and continue on your line without making any mistakes.
But I mean, good job on Palos for being there when that mistake was made. So he kept his cool. He was like, all right, I'm in second place, no big worry. And that he got rewarded for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. Well, Palos comes out of heat number 1 with 10 points on the board, 7 for Manny himself, and it's Halo Walker, who's sitting in third currently with 5 points. 4 more to go as we keep squeaking by here on the semifinal group number 2. Question for you, Jett. Are you starting to feel nervous about facing off against the new talent, especially a guy like Amari? Now, this is coming from David Gass over, I believe, on Twitter. Thank you so much for that question.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't use the word nervous. I would say excited. Every time we have some new talent come into DRL, it's more motivation. It's more inspiration to just fly harder, train harder, become a better pilot personally.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just excited to have some new competitors, man.
Oh, I'm with you on that one.
Fun.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and the green light is up as they head off the blocks and into the first turn. It was Manny himself in the yellow drone. Found the early lead. Palos now fighting for it as well. In the mix is Chief in the blue drone just outside. Takes the inside sweep. As he goes up top, makes the pass for first place. Nicely done. Into the cube, making the tight left turn. Swings wide as he comes out and on the wall ride. Chief still in the lead. The blue drone. Manny himself just behind. However, Dolma in the mix in purple, Palos in red, right there with him. A super tight pack, Jett, just behind the leader.
Wow, dude.
These guys are incredible.
So insane.
Chief still in the lead, Manny in yellow, and meanwhile, Palos makes the pass, holds on to second, pushes Manny back to third as they go up top through the camel hump, making that right turn. Chief still in the lead. Here's that inverted section we're talking about. You come out of that invert, and you're in the middle of a cube, man. That was incredible. That was a beautiful run from Chief. Unfortunately, allows Manny to make the pass. The final run to the finish, and the final turn is here. They're neck and neck. Chief gets it. No, Palos gets it.
That's a tie.
Out of nowhere.
They have the same time.
That was incredible. A 103.85 for Palos, a 103.85 for Chief. But what we don't show you is there is actually 2 more numbers that account for that time that we don't display on the screen for space-saving reasons. But there are more numbers there.
What?
So Palos has just barely an edge over Chief, and he'll take heat number 2 with another 10-pointer on the board. Chief will get 7 after that devastating goose egg from heat number 1. And it was Manny himself who gets 3rd for 5 points on the board from heat number 2. So your overall standings are Palos, Manny, and Chief 20, 12, and 7. But it ain't over yet. There's 3 more to go in semifinal number 2, and anything can change, right, Jett?
Dude, my brain's just fried from watching them be so close just now. I'm still trying to recover from that moment. That
was quite the heat. If we weren't running short on time, I would show you that replay. But I think we got to get moving right along here into heat number 3. That was crazy.
Oh man, good job, Palos, for holding that together, man.
Quick question for you, Jett, from Sean Mathis. I noticed that you like to stand during competition. Is that because when you practice, you usually stand during practice and want minimal variables during the races?
Yep, that's actually exactly right. I used to sit crisscross applesauce on the ground and fly.
The fact that you just used that term is great.
The ground was wet. So I was like, I don't want to sit on the ground. It's wet. So I started standing, and then, boom.
Well, I can't blame you for that. It's not an easy thing to do, standing and flying at the same time. Sometimes you get those little wobbles. Meanwhile,
simple, man.
Meanwhile, there's no wobbles to be had here as they start the next heat. Manny himself in yellow finds the early lead, then drops back down on the inside. Scream up top. Manny's got it again. Chief now fighting for second place. Chief falls back as he makes a wobbling mistake and allows Manny to seal the deal for first. On the wall ride and the dive back down. Manny still in the lead. Palos tries to take it. Palos makes the pass. Palos in red, the early lead now, or the lead now. Now Halo Walker in green tries to scream up front, unable to hold on to it. On the drop down, Palos in red takes it over again. Halo Walker in the mix. They're neck and neck through the power loop. On the dive back down out of it, Palos seals first place. Halo Walker in green in second. Just a skip of a beat behind him, but it's Dolma FPV in the purple drone. Here's Halo Walker's view in the cube. Mistake from Dolma as he drops down. No, he's still in the mix as well. Chief, however, has made a mistake and fallen back to 5th place. In the lead, it's Palos, Dolma, and Halo Walker. You're 1, 2, 3 around the turn, and it stays that way.
Look at that.
No changes there on that final turn. We seem to be seeing a little mix-up right before the finish, but not this time.
Look at the consistency in Palos' times, man.
Palos looking pretty with a 103.70 on that last run versus his previous 103.85 and a 103.86. Consistency. Talk to me about that, Jett, because in drone racing, it's all about consistency.
Yeah, I mean, so that shows that Palos has really found his pace.
Right.
He's like, all right, 103.80, give or take, is roughly the comfortable speed for him to race this track consistently, not make any mistakes.
Yeah.
That's the kind of place you want to find. You want to find this speed that you're not pushing so hard that you're going to make mistakes. No offense, but we saw that happen to Chief.
Right.
He was in the lead. He was doing good. He made a mistake. You don't want to be making mistakes. You want to dial it back maybe a tiny tad to be able to get that consistent time in every single time.
Well, I think that's the fine line. You got to remember that because if you dial it back just ever so slightly too much, then that's it. You're going to get past, and then you got to deal with the nerves increasing as you see another pilot scream ahead of you, and you got that person's drone in your face. They're right in front of that camera view. Now remember, these guys, drones, they can't see behind them. They can't see in the sides of them. All you can see is what's right in front of that camera that's on the front of the drone. You can see it here as they load into the podiums, and of course, as I say that, they automatically switch over. But they can only see in front of them, and when you get another person that's in your view, it really just it starts to bug you, and that alone can throw you off. We'll see how they handle it in the next heat. Meanwhile, it's Chief and Manny himself diving down to the canals as they come out ahead. It's Chief in the front. On the screen back up top, Manny himself in yellow just behind him. They dive into the next corridor, making that left turn. No changes here. Chief still in the lead. Manny in second. Paulos in third place, takes the inside line on the wall and pulls ahead into second. Paulos now switching to guns as he gets close to Chief. We'll see if he can hold on to it all the way through. The dive back around as they set up for the power loop. Chief still in the lead, Paulos in red in second, but it's Dolma who's found third place. Dolma now falls back. It's Manny himself in the yellow drone in third. The up and down camel hump, the right turn. Chief still in the lead, Paulos going for it on the inside through the cube. Can he do it? He who has a better line here might be able to hold on to it all the way through. Paulos up front, but there's three neck and neck, not anymore, as Dolma makes his mistake. Paulos drops back. Chief now drops back on the tighter turn. It's Paulos for the win. Chief in second, and Dolma will get third place with a 103.85.
Wow.
I can't keep up on these final turns.
Killing it.
That final turn is just, that seems to be if you can be close enough in the pack, when you're getting close to that final turn, things could change for you. If you can handle that. Now talk to me about that final hairpin turn, Jett, because that's a tricky one. If you pull a wide turn and you try to apex at very center of that turn, right into that hairpin, are you going to come out ahead? Or do you need to try and do a late apex? Are you trying to stall the drone and then punch forward? What's the strategy there?
I think so the thing is, like, the time from that last gate to the finish, it's a very short distance, right? So if you're hitting, let's say, a late apex to get fast speed out of the turn,
right?
I think that's where you want to be, because if you're hitting early, you don't have enough time to fully accelerate back up to speed before the finish.
Good call.
So it's this really fine line that these guys have to hit to be able to not lose any time and lose to a competitor that maybe had a slightly better line than them.
Right.
So it's really hard to say, man, what to do there. I mean, Paulos obviously figures something out.
That's for sure. He's got 40 points on the board going into heat number 5. Now, what do we know? We know Paulos has clinched his spot going into the finals. He'll be there, but who will be joining him between Manny himself, Dolma, Chief, or even Halo Walker?
Yep.
I mean, these guys are all
we got a four-way.
They're all
bubble right here.
They're all within striking distance of each other for getting themselves into second and third place. We'll see what happens as we go into heat number 5. How do you stay focused in close races, just like one of those previous ones Tommy J is asking? Man, you just got to live in the moment, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's Nurk always says, race your own race.
And that's a key strategy right there. Because if you're trying to follow someone else's line, you're going to get yourself in trouble, right?
To a degree.
Yeah, unless they've got a nice one, right? Then you wait for the right moment, you slingshot around.
Unless you're following Gab.
Yeah. Here, heat number 5, and they're off the blocks. Manny himself, again, gets that early lead as he drops back down, but seems to lose it right here in this canal. Chief usually pulls ahead, and Chief swings wide in a slight little fumble, but he pulls ahead, actually does it. Chief in the lead in blue.
He's got a really good line through there, doesn't he?
He knows how to get that section down.
Yeah, he's got to stop making mistakes, man. That's really what it's coming down to on this one.
Chief and Paulos on the inverted section. Paulos in red just behind Chief in blue. These two are neck and neck. Paulos on the outside gets the lead but drops back. Chief on the inside. He gets the pass. Now Paulos takes it right back. In and out of the loop. These guys are neck and neck. Side by side through the camel hump and on the dive back down. Look how close they are, Jett.
Dude, I'm on Manny himself's FPV feed, and it is the coolest view ever.
He's got a good one sitting back there as he watches the red and blue trails scream up ahead. On the ascent and the run to the finish, the final turn is here. Paulos has it. Chief just behind, and it's Halo Walker who takes third. A 103.24 for Paulos.
Yeah, he got faster and faster every heat there. Look at that.
Quite the consistency from him.
That's a very smart racing right there. First 3 heats, hit his consistent time, was doing good, got some cushion, got some points on the board, and then from there he was stepping it up faster and faster to kind of block the rest of the guys out. That was very, very smart racing from Palos.
It looks like he's definitely using a bit of strategy there. Meanwhile, it's Chief with 22 points, just 1 point ahead of Manny himself. And Chief and Manny will be moving on with Palos to the finals. Unfortunately for Halo Walker, Dolma, and Star, they are done for. Man,
great racing, everybody.
We'll see if we can get Palos in here to do a quick interview with us before we set up for the next group. As we wait for that, Jett, question for you from Ray Edwards. Who is your biggest nemesis to date?
Oh, nemesis?
Nemesis. Had to think about that one a little bit, huh?
Well, okay, so, I mean, friendly nemesis would be Gab.
Okay.
He lives about 2 hours from me. We train together, we fly together, we hang out together.
Yeah.
And then we also have very, very similar racing styles.
Okay.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I say that.
You guys both have a very smooth flight style.
I want to fly and race more like him. I think in the moment I'm a bit more chaotic.
Yeah.
But like, he's my nemesis because of that friendship.
Yeah.
Right. It's one of those keep your enemies closer situation.
Oh, totally. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I'd have to say Gab.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Trav.
We've got Palos with us.
Oh,
What
hey.
up,
Palos, what's going on? How are you?
Oh, I'm feeling really good. Really happy to win that race, and looking forward to fighting with Amari in the finals.
Well, great job, man. 50 points on the board after 5 heats in your semifinal. That's got to feel really good, getting that off your chest and you know, kind of feeling more comfortable. Does the fact that Amari had 50 points as well concern you at all?
Well, what more concerns me is that he had faster times more consistently.
Okay.
But that gets canceled out by that I know that I can do faster times than what Amari has been doing. So we'll see what happens, you know.
What
I
can
can
happen.
Palos really quick. Was like the 103 mid 103s, was that like a comfortable pace for you? You're saying?
Yeah, that was a comfortable pace, but I can definitely push for faster times.
I'm excited to watch, man.
All right. Any strategies you want to give us as you go into the finals?
Well, it's all or nothing, so, you know, just going to go all out.
All right.
See what happens.
All right. Well, congratulations, Palos. We'll let you get going and get set up for the finals. Palos, ladies and gentlemen, our first place winner from semifinal group number 2. Chief was just behind him and Manny himself in third. So those 3 guys are moving on to the finals. It's going to be a wild ride as we get ready for that.
Oh man. Okay, so now we're thinking we know who's in the finals.
We do.
My predictions real quick.
Yeah, what do you got for us? Now let me just pull up this screen so that these guys can see this real quick. Amari, Orange Stuff, and Sky, they're moving on from their group to the finals. Palos, Chief, and Manny himself are moving on as well. So there's your top 6.
So I want to say Amari, because he showed us both consistency and a consistently fast time.
Okay.
So he's going to be my number 1 pick. And I believe he was my number 1 pick on FanDuels. So doing good there. Good there. Palos just kind of showed us what's up, dude.
Yeah, he did.
So before he was someone who I didn't really know. Now he's definitely number 2 on my list. And then I couldn't tell you for the rest of them. I really couldn't, man. Like Orange Stuff, Sky, Chief, Manny, they're all like
they're right there.
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna go just for the sake of just picking them, because I couldn't. Amari and Palos, those guys are incredibly fast. They're right there with each other. Both of them with incredible times on the board. I got to pick those guys as my 1 and 2 going into the finals. And then it looks like to me, I think Chief's going to have a good shot there. As long as he could tighten up those sections that he had a little trouble with early on in his semifinal round, I think he's going to look really solid going into the finals. All right. Question for you, Jett, before we say goodbye. What's your favorite thing about the Racer 4? This is coming from Megan.
Oh, the favorite thing about the Racer 4 is the fact that when we're racing at DRL, we're all flying the Racer 4.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's the favorite thing about it for me, is the fact that we're like spec racing, we're on identical rigs, and it's really this. I mean, you see it even in the simulator, is everyone's at full speed, so you're just kind of trying to squeak out the little bit of perfection here and there.
Yeah.
And that makes some of the best racing possible.
I love it.
Otherwise, it looks cool.
It certainly does. It certainly does. But it's a different beast to fly. You know, when you've flown smaller drones and even bigger ones, you know what I mean? But there's something about the Racer 4, the power, the weight ratio. It's just something about it brings a different challenge that you just don't get with other drones in the industry. And it's just such a fun thing to fly. It's big, it's heavy, but it also has a lot of power behind it. It can slide in the turns, but at the same time, if you need to whip it, you really can, you know?
Yeah. It's very unique. It's very, very unique.
Yeah,
I've tried to build a practice drone that's very similar, has the same weight, has the same dimensions, everything.
Yeah.
Still doesn't fly like the Racer 4.
Right.
I don't know what it is. I can't get it right. But yeah, I mean, dude, I wish I could continue hanging out with you here and watching.
I know we got to say goodbye to you, and we got to bring in our next guest host with us. So Jordan Temkin, Mr. Jett, thank you so much for hanging out with us. It was a pleasure to get the insight from the two-time champion himself. It was amazing, man. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, it was a blast. Thank you, everybody. Good luck to the finalists. I mean, yeah. All right. I'm going to pop off, and I'm definitely going to be watching.
All right, sounds good. Thanks again, Jett. We appreciate it. Jett, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. So we'll get ready for our next guest of honor as we get that all exchanged right now and set up. Tight racing going on, ladies and gentlemen. It's not over yet. We still have the finals to come, where these 6 last players will be battling it out. Remember, they're one final spot to become the next DRL pilot in the 2020 DRL Allianz World Championship Series. It's going to be epic and amazing. So make sure you guys are ready for that. Grab your drinks as we wait for the next group to start up. But we've got a new guest for you guys. And that guy, for a lot of you watching right now, last year's Sim Tryouts winner, Flexi, is probably a familiar face to a lot of you out there. He beat out a field of over 200 pilots in Las Vegas to become the 2019 Swatch DRL Sim champ last year. And then he went straight into a pretty stunning rookie season with DRL. Flexi made finals in 6 of his 7 DRL appearances. And by the time we got to Phoenix, he was just dominating the competition. Now, Flexi took his first career level win in the final race of the season at level 7, Arizona, during the DRL Allianz World Championship season. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2019 Swatch DRL Tryout. We started today with 213 players, and now we're down to the final 6. Hyper in purple, he's there. Flexi takes first!
Congratulations to the winner of the 2019 Swatch DRL SIM Tryouts, Flexi!
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Spangler, a.k.a. Flexi. What's going on, man? How are ya?
Dude, after watching these first races, I like, Jordan was sweating, I'm sweating. I'm over here just watching, and it's insane. These times that these guys are putting down, the packs that they're racing with, it's beautiful. I love it.
It's pretty epic. Thank you so much for joining us, Flex. I'm super excited to have you here, man. You've been watching. These guys are insane. They're really fast. It's going to be an epic battle. Have you made some predictions? And who was your picks on FanDuel? Did you throw some out there?
Yes. So my picks on FanDuel were Chief for 1, Amari for number 2, and I picked Rab for the number 3 spot.
Okay. All right. Well, unfortunately, you lost Rab in semifinal group number 1, but we still do have the other 2 in the mix. So things can happen for you, man.
Hopefully.
No. Don't forget, guys, FanDuel. Make sure you're following along in that FanDuel app and keeping track of who's doing what. Remember, crashes are at stake here. Positions are at stake. All these things make a difference for them. So make sure you guys are following along in that FanDuel app. Flexi, talk to me about last year. You had an epic run last year. You're great, a fantastic rookie season. You've been in the seat that these guys are in right this second. I mean, I got so many questions for you and so little time for all of it, but talk to me about last year's season, first of all.
Last year's season, it was a lot. It's a lot to take in being a DRL pilot for the first time, you know. It's you got cameras, you got all this thing, everything going on, so many moving parts, but you know, I kind of enjoy that pressure of all that stuff, and it puts me in the place that I want to be in for sure. Yeah. So I enjoy it. I love it, man. I'm glad I'm here. I'm doing the same thing.
Now, talk to me. You've been in their position before, right here in this hot seat. You know, obviously a theoretical hot seat, but you've been in that position before. It's nerve-wracking, but you were on a live stage in Las Vegas. These guys are able, at least this season, to stay in their comfort of their own home. You think that plays a factor for these guys?
I think it plays a huge factor in it. I'm not sure if I would have been able to pull off the same thing that I did in Vegas if it was at home, because I mean, at home, everyone else is a lot more comfortable, where I am probably a lot more comfortable than them in a situation in front of people, in front of cameras, and you know, that's what I enjoy. It's where I want to be.
Oh yeah, you thrive on that pressure and you know, kind of being in the hot seat and just having all of that on you. You really come out of your shell and turn into a different person, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I've always watched esports, and seeing people compete on big stages in front of crowds is a place that I wanted to be, and finally to be there, I'm just stoked, and like, I love it, and I eat it up.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a couple questions from the audience, and I'm going to get to those in just a minute. I want to talk to you real quick before I get that about the sim concepts. These guys, you know, flying in the sim, you've been there before. We said it several times. You were in that position where you had to grind, but you had a unique strategy last season. You didn't let anyone know what you were doing. You didn't tell them what your times were. You actually used a different account, I believe, online, so your scores would show up differently. I mean, you had all kinds of little tricks of the trade. Do you think that really played and helped you out?
You know, it's about complacency and like letting other people get complacent and be like, you know, he's not anything to worry about. And that's kind of where I wanted to be. I mean, I wasn't completely out of the limelight because people still knew that I was quick on the sim and knew that I was something to worry about. But when it came down to leaderboard times, the whole time we were doing leaderboard stuff, I actually had my radio capped at 90%.
Did you really?
Yeah, and then like,
so wait. Let me just stop right there. Let me just stop. So okay, so for those who don't know what he's talking about, you know, in the simulator, you can't put that cap on your throttle, so you can't purposefully restrict how fast you can go. But what you can do on your actual transmitter, you can actually apply a throttle cap on there so that you can't go as fast as what you really could do in the sim. And so that's crazy that you did that and still came out on top.
Yeah, and I knew that I couldn't do it the whole time. So like once it got down to like those last 3 weeks, I took it off and I started training at full throttle. And to be honest, to me, it didn't really feel much different. That last little 10% is just a tiny bit. It's not as much as you think it is. Yeah. But it's enough to mess the times up on the board where people are like, oh, what's Flexi doing, you know? Right. And so that was part of it.
That's just that's incredible. Couple questions for you, Flex, from the audience. Flexi, this is coming from Oliver. What advice can you give to the winner of tonight?
What advice? I mean, I would say go drink a beer tonight with your family if you're old enough. If you're 21, celebrate.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep your social distancing going because there is a plague going on.
I don't think we should be telling anybody to go out and celebrate.
Yeah, I'm not saying go out. I'm saying at home. Just crack one, enjoy it.
Okay.
Let it marinate for a little bit, and then you got a lot more work coming.
Yeah.
Because now it's time to race against us.
Yes.
We've been doing this for a year, sometimes a lot more with the other pilots. So you better be ready to grind some more.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
No joke. All right, well, we're getting ready to go into our finals, and I'll give you guys your final 6 players for the evening, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be Amari in the red drone. Orange Stuff, he'll be flying blue. Sky in yellow. Palos FPV in the green drone. Chief, he's got purple, and Manny himself will be flying orange. Flux, predictions for the finals. Talk to me.
Now that we're in the finals, I think that Amari and Paulos may be getting in each other's heads a little bit.
Okay.
Because they know that that's going to be the big battle according to what we've been seeing so far.
Yeah.
And it could be an opportunity for someone else to sneak in there,
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know Amari and Paulos and all these guys have been grinding, and hopefully the other guys have used those first couple rounds to get all those jitters out, get all the mistakes gone, and then pull through. I want Chief to win. Chief's my boy.
Chief had a couple little upsets in his group, but overall he did really well. He is an extremely fast player in the DRL Sim and a great pilot in real life as well. So the guy's got the skills, but then again, all these guys definitely have the skills. That's how they got here to the finals. They've made it past thousands of people just to get here, ladies and gentlemen, right here with us tonight to battle it out 6-up to find out what'll happen and who will become the next winner and become that DRL Sim champion and take that position away from you. You no longer will be able to hold on to that one. It'll be passed on to somebody new, huh?
I think my trophy's cooler.
I'll give you that. All right, drones are being loaded in on the podiums as we go to heat number 1. That's Palos and Orange Stuff, the green and the blue drones, all ready to go. And off the blocks through that first gate, who's going to get the whole shot? And it looks like Manny himself in the orange drone. For some reason, he seems to be really great at getting that jump, but he has a little trouble beyond that as they drop into the canal. Chief in the purple drone in the early lead, but now dropping back down. And it looks like Orange Stuff in blue up in the mix and Amari in red. Your top 3, Amari now takes first position. Orange Stuff just behind him. Chief and Paulos, your 3 and 4. As they go through the next corridor, up and out of the loop, setting up for another drop. Amari's holding on to the lead, but look at Orange Stuff in blue, tries to make the pass. He makes it happen. Amari falls to second place, and now it's Chief in purple who's in third place. Orange Stuff gets passed back. Amari takes the lead again. On the right turn into the cube, Amari in the lead. Orange Stuff in second, Chief in purple. He's in third. The inverted section into the next cube, and the order does not change. Paulos in green comes out of nowhere. Chief makes a big mistake on that ascent, and he'll fall all the way back to 6th place. Meanwhile, it's Amari and Orange Stuff and Paulos. You're 1, 2, 3. Out of nowhere, Chief's mistake, and the pack capitalizes on it.
That looked weird to me. He just, because I was watching his FPV feed, and he was going up, and he just kept going forward and then just straight into the ground.
It didn't look good for him.
Yeah.
Heat number 1 goes to Amari with 10 points on the board, a 103.38 Orange Stuff.
Wow.
Just behind him with a 103.38 as well. However, there are 2 more numbers on their times that we don't display, which is why Amari was able to have a faster time and get first place with 10 points, 5 for Paulos, a 103.60. I really want to take a look at that. We have time for a replay. I want to take a look at that and see how that went. Hold on one sec. See if we can get that pulled up.
Replay.
Let's take a look. I'll slow it down for you guys as well. I'm just trying to find that group. Let me go back just a second. I'm trying to find the spot where Chief seems to have had some problems.
Yeah, it looked weird.
It did. Okay, let me pause it right there. All right, we're looking through the eyes of Chief as he goes through this cube. Little skip there on the inverted section into the next cube, sitting in third place currently, and then skips. That's what it was. He ended up skipping the hump right there, and that caused him to go down, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the reset, try to get back into it, but by that time, it was just too little, too late for him. You got to watch that hump on that ascent.
Yeah.
It'll definitely get you. Let's go back to that section one more time. You can see it here as he goes up to that inverted section into this cube, rolls over. Beautiful right turn, and right there ends up skipping that, and that's what caused his drone to flip over. Tough break for him.
Yeah, it sucks.
It does. Well, you know what? The best thing to do, though, Flux, and you know this better than anybody out there, is that whatever happened in that previous heat, it's time to move on. It's time to. Yeah, your hand gesture was perfect. Like, yeah, that's in the past, right?
Don't matter. Yeah, you can't sit there and let those feelings get bottled up. You just gotta not worry about it. It happened, and drive forward.
Yeah. Real quick, as we wait for the next heat to start, Flexi from Adam, what was the first thing that you did after you won the 2019 Sim tournament?
We were in Vegas.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I played the fifth. I played the fifth on that one, but it was a good night. My buddies came out from Los Angeles, and we had a good night in Las Vegas.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah. We'll leave it at that, right?
Yeah.
That's a great question. Tommy J to you, Flexi, says, are you looking forward to racing one of these guys next season?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to racing everyone this season.
Yeah.
Like, I want to. This is my favorite thing in the world. So bring them on, man.
Now, you being a sim champ and winning last season and going into the official league, do you have any fears? Knowing that somebody like you out of this group is going to be joining you in the DRL league. Does that concern you at all? Are you a little worried about the competition, or are you just ready to take it on?
Nah, I ain't worried about nobody.
All right.
I ain't worried about nobody.
Hey guys, just chime in for a sec.
Oh, go ahead, Trav. What's up?
I'm just chiming in here.
That's all right. Go
I
ahead.
just want to let the people know we had a incredibly tight race there. It just showed a tie on the board for a 3-point difference. That's a big deal. So I just wanted to get a confirmation on what those scores were. And the final score, the number we were missing, it was a 103.382 for Amari and a 103.385 for Orange Stuff. That's how close it was.
Wow.
But that's why Amari got the first place finish.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Travis, for the update. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We talked a little bit about how there are some points not shown on the screen. Travis giving us that update. 2 and a 5, man. A point, 2 and a point. That's crazy difference between them. That just goes to show, that's like the length of a prop, if you will, when you're going into that finish, All right, heat number 2 starting in just a moment. Off the blocks, we'll see what happens. There's Amari in the red drone, and he's currently in third. But again, it was Manny himself in the orange drone. Got that early lead, but then fell right back down into the canals. Here's Amari's view from first. Chief in second. Can he hold it on the way up? Chief usually excels here, and he screams up top. Not able to get first place. However, it's Amari in the lead. Chief in second in the purple drone. And it's Palos in green, who's currently in third. However, all 6 still together. Flexi, this is a tight battle behind first.
Yeah, I can't see any of them. I'm switching back and forth, and all I see is Amari out front, and then everyone else is just like this tiny little group.
It's insane. Nuts. Hit the V key and hit number 1, and you'll get that outside view. Big mistakes were made, though. Amari's still in the lead. Chief and Palos, you're 2 and 3. The front hasn't changed at all. On the ascent and the inverted cube. Next, Amari still up there. Chief now falling back ever so slightly. Palos making the pass on Chief. He'll get second place so far. The final runs to the finish and the final turn. Amari in the lead. Palos in second and Chief in third on the finish. Doesn't change there. A little more staggered they were going into the finish that time.
Yeah, it was a little more broken up, but these guys might be sweating a little bit now.
For good reason.
Yeah, man. Woo!
Well, Amari finishes heat number 2 with 10 points on the board, a 103.21. It's 103.30 for Palos and a 103.54. Those are some really, really tight. I'm sorry, actually, Chief was third place. He's got a 103.50, but with his 0 points in heat number 1 and a 5-pointer in heat number 2, it puts him overall in fourth, just behind Orange Stuff as we head into heat number 3. question for you, Flexi. How was Camp Vanover, and what was your highlight? Now, first of all, real quickly, tell these guys who are watching what Camp Vanover was.
So Camp Vanover was myself, Nub, and Vanover. We basically decided that we all wanted to get together and just train. And so we've done 2 of them so far. We did one last season. We did one like a month ago, a couple weeks ago actually. And it's good, you know.
Before quarantine.
Yeah, before the quarantine, like right before that.
Yeah.
It's good. Staying with Vanover sometimes is a little weird.
Yeah.
Vanover, you know, he's a little brother to us. We love him, but we hate him.
Well, he's your competition, right?
Yeah. But that's it. No, we love the guy. I just got to talk a little smack sometimes.
And you did a lot of that last season with him.
Yeah, and I mean anyone can get it. If you got a target on your head, I'm not singling him out for any reason.
Yeah.
But if you're the guy in front, you've got that big target right on your forehead. So I'm coming for you, baby. And it don't matter who you are.
Yeah,
I'm coming.
I feel you on that. I can't blame you. Flexi, talk to me about technique here. Going into heat number 3, does your thought process change? You're midway through the finals, or you're about to start your middle heat. You know, one between 5 heats. You're on your middle heat 3. What does that do for you?
Well, for the rest of this field, other than Amari, they need to change something up.
Okay.
They need to do something, whether it is get a little more sendy on the lines that they're taking. You know, I couldn't tell you in this situation. Amari is like locked in.
Yeah.
They need to. If I were in their position, I would start trying to get into Amari's head.
Right.
I would start talking smack. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Because that's the only, you have to break him at this moment, because he's running away with this, and you can't let him run away like this.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to do something to break him, and I think that's what they have to do. And if they're not doing that, then sorry, boys, you ain't doing it right.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, one of the techniques that, or one thing that you have for you that kind of helps you maybe relieve some stress, I'm assuming, is you have something called a kendama toy. Right?
I do.
Oh,
kendama,
you perked right up with that.
I got one right here.
Yeah. Talk to me about that thing, because when you first told me about it, I was like, "What in the world is this?" You know, I never knew the name of this thing.
So this is a kendama. It's a Japanese skill toy,
okay.
And there's like 3 cups on it, and you can catch it on the cups, and then there's a hole, and you basically landing a trick. You put it on the spike at the end, and it's something that I've gotten into recently. I think it's kind of like a meditative thing where you can just get away from the screen, unplug, you know, just like kind of center yourself on something and just play some music, maybe get outside, enjoy some vitamin D rather than staying inside all the time.
Can you give us a little toss and catch there, will you?
Oh, you want something?
No, you don't have to get up. He's doing it. Oh! All right, we gotta move right along though. Flex, he can't hear me because he pulled those headsets off so fast as we go into the next heat. This is heat number 3, and on the drive down, all 6 still in the air as they go down at the canal. Amari's view from first place. Chief right there with him. Orange Stuff as well in the blue drone. The dive back down into the next cube. Amari still in the lead. Orange Stuff in blue. A really tight turn for him as he tries to make the pass because he got passed by Chief. Chief in purple in second place. Orange Stuff now in third. Amari still in the lead, though. Amari doing a great job pulling away. Somehow, he's able to gain some extra ground here.
No. Chief makes a big mistake.
Big fumble for Chief as he drops all the way back to 5th place. It's now Amari and Orange Stuff. You're 1 and 2. Palos in 3rd place, trying to creep up on Orange Stuff. Can he do it? Palos tries to make the pass. They're neck and neck through the cube on the inverted section. Palos does make the pass, and it's Orange Stuff who falls to 3rd. Orange Stuff tries to take him on the Emmelman. He does! Orange Stuff gets it right back. The final turn is coming. Amari's in the lead. Palos and Orange Stuff. Orange Stuff and Palos. They're neck and neck. Palos gets 2nd place with a 103.34, and Orange Stuff with a 103.41. Woo! So
you guys can't let him run away like this. What are you doing, man?
Man. That was just nuts there towards the end. Big fumble from Chief. I thought coming out of heat number 2 with a 5-pointer, he was going to turn things around really in heat number 3, but it just was not able to happen for him. Paulos, on the other hand, did a great job waiting for the right moment to strike. And sometimes that's the best way to go, right, Flux?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you gotta be that hunter, you know,
right.
Hanging in the back. You gotta hide in the bushes.
Yeah.
And then when the time is right, get him.
Well, Heat 3 is done and 30 points are on the board for Amari. It's Paulos with 19 for second and 15 for Orange Stuff. Is it still over, or is it over for Manny and Chief, or are they still in this mix? Flux, talk to me.
You know, let me go back and look at these scores. I think
Manny's got 7, Chief's got 6. Now the next closest is Orange Stuff with 15.
Yeah. It's Manny and Chief. I don't think that they're doing much. I don't see Amari getting a 0. I don't see him putting a goose egg on the board.
No.
So
now there is always a possibility that Manny or Chief could get into first, hold on to it, have a solid run, and keep it all the way through. However, their performance so far in the finals has not happened, or has not displayed that.
Yeah, and I think Paulos still, if Amari makes some big mistakes, Paulos can take this thing.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen a single mistake out of Amari.
No.
So
Amari has been just dialed in and really just killing it. Well, let's check out what happens in heat number 4. L6 up and off the blocks as they go through the first gate. Manny himself, again, always gets that hole shot. He seems to have it every single time. On the dive down, however, is when he loses. Amari in a familiar spot as he comes out of the canal in first place. That's the red drone. And the rest of the pack follows behind him as they make this turn through the cube. Orange Stuff in blue in the mix up front. Chief in purple in second place now. Orange Stuff drops to third. Orange Stuff takes the inside line. Chief falls back. Chief hits it back. Orange Stuff back to third. These guys are back and forth. Paulos in green. He's not out of it. He's right there in the mix as well. Dive down to the next section. Onto the power loop. Amari in the lead. Orange Stuff just behind him blue. Chief in purple on his tail. More so than the rest. The order doesn't change as they go into the next cube. Amari still has that huge distance on him. Let's switch over to Orange Stuff's view from third place just behind Paulos as he takes the turn on the Emmelman. Orange Stuff with the pass in second place. Paulos takes it right back on the next turn. Oh no! Orange Stuff swings wide. Paulos takes second. Amari in first. That's insane.
Well,
that's insane.
Yep.
30 on the board for Amari, 19 and 15 for Paulos and Orange Stuff. This is just incredible. I think I know how Amari's doing some things. You've got that kendama toy, and one of those things. Do you use that ever at all? Do you kind of fiddle with it between heats every once in a while, or do you kind of keep that away and save that for the real fun later on?
No, that's like a you gotta give it like full kind of concentration type thing. It's not something that I could. And you gotta stand up, and it's a lot of like a whole body movement type thing more than just something I can sit here and do. You can't really play kendama sitting down.
Now, I know Amari does something really interesting that he does between heats. He actually fiddles with a Rubik's Cube. And that's one of the ways that he is able to kind of keep those fingers warmed up. Well, it must be working for him. We're going into Heat 5. Now, in just a minute, I want to show you guys what is that Amari does in his downtime between the heats. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, my name is Christian Van Sloan. I go by Amari in the drone racing world and on the DRL Sim. Throughout the Race to Vegas series, I get asked to meet my mic a lot because I'm playing with the Rubik's Cube in the background. I can solve it, but that's not really what it's there for. It's more of like a fancy fidget spinner. It keeps my fingers warm. They tend to get cold really fast, and that doesn't work very well on the sticks. It definitely shows in my times and my runs. This helps keep them focused, limble, moving.
That's pretty incredible what he can do with a Rubik's Cube. Man, my son's got one, and he's always asking me to try and fix the colors for him, and this is what I end up giving him, just a big jumbled mess of colors, and it really just doesn't go. I'm sorry, buddy. I can't. Daddy can't do the Rubik's Cube. It just doesn't happen for me. Flux, we got one heat to go for the that's it till the end. It doesn't matter because Amari has clinched his spot.
Over.
He's got 30 on the board. The next closest is Palos, and Palos has 19. Even if he got first place with 10 on the board, there is no way he's going to beat Amari's 30-pointer. So there it is. Wait a second. My points is not relevant. I was going to say, I'm over here telling you guys incorrect points, but I got the wrong ones on the board for you. Let me get those updated. They just didn't refresh on my end. There we go. All right. 40 points on the board. There's the correct stats. So sorry about that, guys. 40 points on the board for Amari. Palos with 26, 20 for Orange Stuff. There's no way anybody can catch him. Amari has clinched his spot, but we will still have a heat number 5. What do you think about that, Flux? Already clinched it after 4 heats. He's got 40 points, 10 pointers on the row. It's just, he's got to be screaming and with nothing but joy.
It feels good. It feels good to do that. That's what I did in Vegas. Didn't even have to race that last heat. Now he can just freestyle, have some fun. But I don't think he's going to do that.
No, you don't think so? All right, we'll find out. Off the blocks and through the first couple turns, Amari up front with the rest, but he swings wide on the dive down. Orange Stuff finds the early lead, however, in the blue drone. Chief up in the mix, tries to take it as well. Chief in purple, just behind Orange Stuff in blue. The dive back down into the next cube. Amari not in that position he normally is by now, so he is absolutely taking it easy. But it's Orange Stuff and Chief. You're 2 and 3. Now we're back and forth through the Emmelman. Chief up front. Orange Stuff in second. Amari in third place. The dive back around. Chief now holding on to it, not letting go. He's in the position that we've seen Amari in. Orange Stuff tries to get the pass, not able to do so. Chief keeps him at bay. Amari still in third. Amari neck and neck with Orange Stuff in blue for second place. Chief in the lead. It's obvious to me that Amari is not going full gung-ho here, Flex. I think he's holding back.
Yeah, maybe a little.
Chief with a mistake as he smacks the corner of the gate and goes down. It's still Amari who takes the win. Orange Stuff in second and Manny in third place.
That's nuts.
Man, man.
And look at the total time, too.
Total time of 5:15.74 overall for Amari. And beats the rest of them. 50 points on the board. Palos with 29 and 27 for Orange Stuff. So your top 3, ladies and gentlemen, Amari, Palos, and Orange Stuff. Flexi. Amari, perfect 10s on the board. The times were consistent. The 103s. He ended up getting a 102.80, which was almost as fast as his top qualifying time, which was a 102.48. Not quite there, but man, that's some consistency right there.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I didn't think it was going to be like that. I didn't think he would come and sweep it. I thought Palos was going to give him a good. I mean, he did. He gave him a good run. Yeah. But I thought it was going to be a lot better than that.
That was incredible. Amari just dominated the pack. He did a great job. This guy is incredible. He's unstoppable. And you know what? His hard work and dedication has paid off. This guy was putting in tons and tons and tons of hours every single week. It's just incredible. I'm waiting for Travis to give us that final ruling just to make sure.
That one's in the bag, boys.
All right.
Amari, dominated there. We're about to get him in the virtual studio with us in just a second. To get some of the energy and Rubik's Cube action in just a second.
Well, thank you so much, Travis, for giving us that official word. But before we get him in the hot seat, let's check out a word from our sponsors.
Welcome to the DRL Allianz World Championship, the premier international drone racing circuit. Off the blocks, the main hallway, down to the square gate. One win gets you the goal. That is too close to call.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2020 Sim Pilot champion, Amari.
Woo!
Yeah, baby.
Woo!
Congratulations, man. How do you feel?
Oh my gosh. I have trained so long and so hard. These last few months have been such a long haul. I'm really out of breath right now.
I believe it.
really beside myself.
Congratulations, man. Like, a round of applause for you, brother.
Thank you.
You worked your hind end off this entire time, man, putting in so many hours, and it has finally came to fruition. Amari, how do you feel?
I'm just feeling so excited. I can't believe that I get to do my dream and go and travel around with all of these other awesome pilots and race with them. I'm so excited. I cannot explain. I am so excited for that.
Amari, I want you to think about this.
Yeah.
I think about this for 1 second. You've become a DRL pilot, my man.
It's still not registering. I'm just
say,
so here right now. It's just so happy. So excited.
Hours and hours of
So
trying
blessed.
How many hours were you putting in daily for this?
Let me pull up my Steam profile. Before I started this morning, I had 90 in the last 2 weeks.
Wow. Wow.
My goal was to just go out there and then just not drop a heat.
You did that.
Yeah.
Man,
just want to go out there and be the one to be. That was the goal.
I mean,
all right, so
you did it.
I've heard one of the main reasons why you want to come on to DRL is to beat Vanover.
Oh yeah. No one on the roster is gonna have an easy time. The roster is absolutely stacked.
Yeah,
100%.
it's gonna be a good season. I can't wait to race against you, buddy.
For sure. Are we gonna beat Vanny or what, Flexi?
Oh man, I mean,
Let's go.
I know. I had a year to figure it out.
Awesome.
Ain't gonna happen the way it happened last year. That's all I'm saying.
Oh.
For sure.
Amari, you're coming in as the new sim champ. Flexi is retiring that crown over to you, I would say. How does that feel? Are you at all concerned knowing that Flexi's been in this position before with you in the past? Not necessarily with you, but yeah, it actually was with you.
No, exactly, and that was one of the things I was thinking about. No, I'm super happy it was Flexi. I'm sure you remember last year, grand final stage, we were sitting right next to each other. I was fist bumping the crap out of you after every heat. You can go back and watch that VOD. I do it all the time.
Dude,
you popped off. I'm excited to do that in real life now.
Meanwhile, probably making some people angry with that Rubik's Cube noise that you're always making in the background.
For sure.
Where's that Rubik's Cube? It's got to be there. I know you've been playing with it.
I literally just dropped it.
Oh, no, he dropped it.
Hope I got it.
I would imagine it looks better than mine unless you've just been fiddling with it and messing with the colors.
It's kind of all over the place.
Okay, yeah. I
gotta keep the fingers warm.
I can't move it nearly as fast as you do. I'm like an old man over here with my slow movement. I can't solve these things. My son's always like, Daddy, put it back. I'm like, I could take the stickers off and put those back. Maybe.
Break it and reassemble it correctly.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna have to bring it to you next time I see you, and you can put it together.
For sure, gladly. It'd be an honor. Oh my gosh, does this mean that we're co-workers now, Noodle? Let's go.
It does, right? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, let's go! Man, I'm already excited for my first day of work.
Yeah, that's all. Well, I'll let Flexi talk to you about that.
Sure.
First day at work. How does that go?
Yeah, dude. Well, first, we're gonna do a lot of pictures. You might have you ever had makeup on?
Oh boy.
You're gonna get makeup.
Is that because you guys like to look pretty?
We love looking pretty.
I get those glamour shots.
Well, congratulations again, Amari. Fantastic job from you.
Thanks so much.
I can't say it enough. I mean, you rocked it out there. Being with you in this entire process and seeing you just climb the charts and put the dedication and hard work into it, it's finally paid off and you earned the hell out of it. So congratulations. Man.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. So excited to be a part of this, guys. I really am. I can't explain it.
What are you doing tonight to celebrate?
I got the whole family over. We're gonna go crazy here as soon as this is over.
Yeah. Well,
I had to tell them all to be quiet for this.
Make sure you're posting pictures on social media. I'm sure the fans out there will definitely want to check it out.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, thank you again so much, Amari. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. 2020 Sim winner. That's Amari.
Can I thank a few people really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
I want to thank my family. They've helped me out so very much. They've all been so supportive. My beautiful fiance, Hannah, so supportive. All of Heart of America. Shout out to all you guys. My boy Sky was in the heat with us. Shames, everyone. Nurk. I get a race with Nurk now. We're teammates on 2 different levels.
Yeah.
Super excited about that. My 3rd year doing this. I've had a number of sponsors along the way. Will Dobbins. Just a ton of people. Everyone from my local crew. And of course, I got to thank my Lord, my Savior, Jesus. This has really been a God-given talent that I've been given. I've just been super blessed to be able to steward it for him. So I thank you guys for this opportunity, and I'm excited to get going.
Well, congratulations again, Amari, and hats off to you.
Yeah, man. Good job, brother. You absolutely destroyed tonight. That was insane.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's it for us today. Amari, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Fantastic job, man. Fantastic job.
Thank you.
Well, that'll round it up for us, Mr. Flexi. Thank you so much for joining us, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. You're awesome, bro. Thank you. Can't wait to see what happens in the next season. Of course, we'll have to stay tuned and see how all of this goes with the quarantine, and hopefully everything gets cleared up, and you guys are all staying safe out there so we can get back to the real-life racing for you guys. You excited for that, Flex? I know I am.
Man, I'm drinking water, and I'm staying safe. I'll tell you what.
Good. That's exactly what we need. Well, again, Flexi, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it, man. Flexi, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank all of you guys out there for watching drone racing and making this a possibility for us. You guys are the real heroes of this whole thing. So keep sharing this, keep holding it down for the drone racers, and thank you guys. Well said. Congratulations again to Amari. Thank you so much, Flexi. We'll see you guys next time. And thank you, of course, to all of our viewers for watching our sim tournament over the past several weeks. A huge thank you to our guest co-hosts and, of course, our DRL pilots, Jett and Flexi, and to all of our guest hosts throughout the entire tournament series. Thank you to the United States Air Force, as well as Allianz, and, of course, FanDuel for supporting us. A huge shout out to the DRL Sim team and the DRL HQ who helped us put all of this together. It was a huge team effort, and all of this, of course, couldn't have been done without your race manager, Travis Daly. So, Travis, thank you as well. Where are you at, Trav? You still there?
I'm right here, man, and thank you too. Since we're all like being lovey-dovey and shit, you did an incredible job on this exciting night. So glad it went so beautifully smoothly, and Amari just absolutely killed it. Congrats to Amari and whatnot.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you, Travis. Appreciate it. And, of course, congratulations to our 2020 DRL SIM Tryouts Finals winner, and that goes to Amari. I'm Tony Niddle. Thank you all so much for joining us, and have a good night.